should probably make my bed. Hold on. Okay. This is very low budget. I'm filming on my phone and it's front, like the camera is front facing to make sure I'm in the frame. But also I'm trying really hard not to look at myself and to look at the camera because underneath all the self-loathing, I am a raging narcissist. My posture is genuinely atrocious. Anyway, about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I stumbled on to a YouTube account, the YouTube account of Carly Thorne, aka Uncarly. I will link her channel in the description in case anybody sees this video. And she's become everything I aspire to be. Yeah. She very much gives me older sister I never had vibes because I was the oldest sister and now I suffer from eldest daughter syndrome. Crippling me. Anyway, I binged all her videos immediately and her first video was reading all of Harry Styles' favorite books, or reading some of them. And I was like, I'm gonna do that. I need to do that. I must embark on this quest. But I didn't want to totally copy her. I don't think she's the first person to do this video, but she's the first one I saw. And I don't want to totally copy her, so I'm not doing the same books. Only one of them is the same, because it's like his favorite, supposedly. But I'm gonna read 3 books that Harry Styles has at least read. He's read them. So that's what we're doing here today. Carly talked about her One Direction phase. I unfortunately didn't have that due to heaps of internalized misogyny, but I have seen the light and I am now in my One Direction phase, specifically my Harry Styles phase. The 3 books that I read for this video were, let me grab them actually, hold on. Okay, the 3 books that I read were Love is a Mixtape by Sheffield, The Course of Love by Alain botton, and Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami, I think is his name. I don't have that one with me physically. I had a physical copy that I borrowed from my dad, but I ended up picking it up on audiobook because I just was not in the mood to read, but I knew I wanted to consume it, so I found it on audiobook and I actually really enjoyed that, consuming it that way. Overall, good experience. So I'm gonna like put in some vlog footage of me reading, I guess. And then I think I talk a little bit in the vlog footage that I did about each book, maybe. And then I'm gonna give like a little summary and talk about, you know, if I enjoyed them, why I enjoyed them, etc, etc. I really should have filmed this before I read the books, but I didn't really know if I was actually gonna make a video or not because I have very little follow through. I could blame it on the ADHD, but it also might be a personality trait. I don't know. And that's the fun part about having mental illness. It's always a little guessing game when it comes to that. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now and let you watch me read. Okay. Okay, so I think that the book that I'm gonna start with is, sorry, I'm looking over here because I'm looking at it. I think it's, what's it called? The Course of Love by Alain botton. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, that's a book that Harry Styles has recommended a couple times. I think I saw it in maybe an interview, that's where I found it. I'm not sure, but I think I'm gonna start with that one. It's like 11, maybe 12 at night, and I'm gonna go ahead and try and read for like a half an hour because I have a feeling this is gonna be kind of dense. So I read for like 20 minutes. I wanted to read for closer to half an hour to 45, but I'm so tired. I literally don't know why I slept till like 12 today, which is so late, and it made me feel like shit, and I hate when that happens. But I'm just exhausted, and it's not like, this book isn't like dense and old Englishy like a classic, but I definitely feel like it's gonna take me a little bit to get into. But I've already tapped a couple quotes that I thought were really pretty and just like said a lot about love. But so far it seems like it's going to follow the love story of one couple, and sort of a commentary on how we view love and love stories in media. And I don't know, I'm pretty excited about it. I feel like it's gonna be good, and I'm going to pick it back up tomorrow morning. I got not very far. I only got to page 16 out of like 225, but I should finish this in 2 or 3 days. I'm actually moving this week, so it might take me a little longer depending how busy I am, but feeling pretty good about it so far, and I will keep you updated. Okay, so I finished The Course of Love, and I liked it. I'm gonna give more thoughts on all the books at the end of the video, but now I'm going to start on Norwegian Wood by Murakami, and pretty excited about it. We'll see. I know that somebody's yelling outside. I know that his writing style is supposed to be really pretty, although sometimes like his depictions of female characters is like meh. So we'll see if I like it. Hopefully I do. And then, like I mentioned before, Love is a Mixtape is a reread for me, so I'm gonna do that last. But I'm pretty excited about that too, because I didn't really annotate it the first time, and I love annotating my books, so second go around I'm gonna annotate. But yeah, that's the plan. Okay, so I essentially gave no updates at all on either Norwegian Wood or even get any footage of me rereading Love's a Mixtape, but hopefully you enjoy my commentary and my summary of everything and what I thought about it. Yeah. Sorry. That. I think that looked fake, but it wasn't. I'm gonna talk about this book first. I think this book is my favorite of the bunch. This was actually a reread for me. I read this towards the beginning of the year, and it quickly became a 5-star read for me. I did actually read it when I picked it up off of Harry Styles' recommendation before I was even planning on making a video, just because I read the summary and I was so excited about it. The full title is Love is a Mixtape, Life and Loss, One Song at a Time. And basically Rob Sheffield, I think he's a writer for Rolling Stone, the magazine, and he puts a little playlist, a little mixtape at the beginning of each chapter that relates to the chapter at the time in his life that he's writing about. But basically it's his memoir, and it focuses heavily on grief and the loss of somebody you love. This isn't a spoiler, he talks about it at the very beginning, but his wife passed away suddenly 5 years into their marriage, and it kind of talks about how he deals with that as a person, how he grows, how it hurt him, and the way that he describes his wife is just so beautiful. I cannot even imagine a person thinking about me that way. Like, they're so in love, and it's really beautiful to read about. And then obviously that makes it all the more heartbreaking when he gets to the point of discussing her death. And overall, it's just so beautifully written. Maybe I'll read a quote, because just the writing in this is just so lovely. Here's a good one. There's better ones, but this is the one I can find at the moment. But he says, I was a wallflower who planned to stay that way, who never imagined anybody else to be. Suddenly, I got all tangled up in this girl's noisy, juicy, sparkly life. Without her, I didn't want to do anything except keep being good at Renee. That's his wife's name. So yeah, it's really sweet, and just the writing is really beautiful, and I highly recommend anybody read this book. I think it's very digestible. It's pretty short. It's only like 200 and some pages, and I recommended it to one of my friends and she loved it as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think that you'll see with a lot, like all the books that I read, Harry really likes to read about love and about grief, and I think both of those are captured really, really well in this, so highly recommend. All right, the next book that I read was The Course of Love by Alain de Botton. I'm butchering the name and I'm sorry. I took Spanish in high school. But yeah, this book was interesting. This book follows a young couple right after they get married, and the point of it is sort of to talk about the story of what happens after happily ever after, since so many stories in literature and just in popular media focus on the falling in love and they get married happily ever after, and this sort of follows the struggles that you deal with once you are married and once life, you know, goes a little differently than you expected. So I found this to be a bit dense, which I was kind of expecting. Like, it's more of a commentary than a narrative, while it does have a narrative within it, but I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I thought. I didn't love it that much while I was reading it, but afterwards I found myself like thinking back to different points that were made throughout just like my life and like relating them to certain things, and so that's usually when I know that a book was good, is if I find myself like still thinking about it, which I was with this one. I think it accomplished its purpose of like making a commentary on what happens after happily ever after, definitely. However, I didn't really like either of the main characters in the couple. Like, they both messed up a lot, which is to be expected in a marriage, but I think that like to see how horrible they both were was just not enjoyable, even though like that's more of a me thing, not the book's fault. But within the narrative, there's these like little essays that are italicized. Let me see if I can find, an example. So this is like the narrative, and then the author has this little essay of commentary right there. And I actually really liked the commentary essay parts, even more than the narrative. Yeah, I did enjoy this, and I would recommend it. So what does this tell me about Harry Styles? Once again, he's reading about love and about sad people. That's not really a spoiler, but like the people in this book go through struggles, and I don't know, I feel like he just likes to, Carly said this in her video, that he likes to read about sad women, and I think that's true. Just like sad people in general, sad people in love and sad people falling out of love as well. That's what I kind of got from this. Harry, do you have a therapist? I hope you're checking in with her. I hope you're doing well, you know, because I know you're watching. Take care of yourself, buddy. All right, and then finally I read Norwegian Wood on audiobook. I started it on like with my physical copy, and then I wasn't really like finding myself pulled in as much as I wanted to be, so I thought it might be easier for me to get through on audiobook, and I actually really enjoyed the audiobook experience. So if you start it and you're just like not that into it, maybe give it a try on audiobook. I listened to it for free on YouTube, which was probably uploaded illegally, but you know, it is what it is. I ended up liking it more than I thought I was going to, simply because from everything I've read about Murakami is just that he really sexualizes all his female characters, which he didn't like the way he wrote women, but I thought that the narrative and like the prose was really pretty. It's about a man who's in college, and he falls in love with this girl who has a lot of mental health struggles, which relatable, but she is like really struggling. I just fully moved my camera, sorry. What was I talking about? Oh, Norwegian Wood. Anyway, so it's like his story of like dealing with falling in love with her and then the other women and people in his life. But this man has sexual relations with, spoiler alert I guess, but he has sexual relations with like almost every woman in the book, which was super unnecessary and like weird, and I didn't like that. I think Murakami is a really good writer, but the way he writes women, it's like you can tell that it's a man writing women, like very much in the male gaze. They're all either mentally ill or like aggressively frail in some way, which I didn't like that. I think I gave this book 3 stars. It was good. Like, I get why Harry likes it, but I wouldn't like read it again or rate it like new favorite. But I don't know. Once again, Harry likes reading about a sad girl hour, and just sad people. There's a lot of sadness in this book. I would check trigger warnings if you're gonna read it. Actually, probably for all of these, but I hope he's seeing a therapist regularly, because, you know, we all need it, but clearly he also needs it. Celebrities, they're just like us. So yeah, those were all the books that I read that Mr. Harry Styles also thoroughly enjoyed. I didn't rate any of them below 3 stars, so I would call that a success. Thank you, Carly, for the inspiration for this video. Majorly appreciate it. If anybody is watching this, go ahead and subscribe to Carly, because you're gonna receive far better content from her than you ever will with me. If I even continue making videos, because once again, can't commit to anything, and this could be an ADHD hyperfixation. Time will tell. But yeah, by the way, I'm Frankie. I don't know if I said my name because I only expect my 10 friends to be watching this. Actually, that's generous, more like 6 friends. If you guys are here, hey. And if anyone else is here, hey to you too. Glad you made it. Hope you enjoyed, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Bye!